I'm Dwayne Caraway, a more settled Dwayne Caraway. This is the other side with DC. And right now, we have 4 gentlemen here, and we're discussing Trump going to jail and Biden going to the White House. We'll start with Jay. Hey, big homie. Before you get started, let me make sure folks understand that Big Homie has his own podcast. And tell us about it real quick so we can know what's happening.
What's good, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the Living Legend Podcast. I'm your host, Big Homie.
Well, it's a podcast called Living Legends Podcast, and I'm going to be interviewing just what it says, Living Legends. I want to bring interviews of the biggest and best in industry, in entertainment. And so that's basically it, just giving y'all interviews.
But tell them how to get there.
It's a YouTube channel, Living Legends with an S podcast on YouTube.
It's up here. We got it going up here.
There he is.
Where you get them glasses from, man? Where that? All right, leave, big homie. That's Big Homie. Big Homie. Hey, look, I know Trump's your boy. But now, are you going to do an interview with him?
If I can.
Or you going to go to jail and get it?
If I have to.
I'm glad he's softened
But
up a little bit.
I'll probably go to the White House, because that's where you're going. You're going back to the White House.
If he go to the White House, they're going to paint the White House orange.
Okay, let's talk about it. So right now, he's leading in the Republican poll by 40-50%.
That's
About
wonderful.
40 to 50%.
Yeah, 40 anyway. I know it's 40.
Jesus.
Okay, so he's going to get the nomination.
Yeah,
Now,
okay. I hope he get it.
Let's assume that he get the nomination.
Let's not assume.
If-
Let's hope he get it.
I hope he
We got our fingers crossed.
Okay. So now you got him and probably Vivek Ramaswamy going against.
The man that said he gonna pardon Trump if he gets in office. If he's
Right.
this VB man,
Yeah.
he said he's gonna pardon Trump if he's elected president.
Right. And in the
Hey,
last debate,
Well, do you think he'll pardon me?
maybe.
I'm too little for them.
No, you're not.
And
No,
other
you're
and
not.
other and other black folks in the prison that's done less than what Trump has done, that he's been accused of, are still in prison, while this man done denied 4 subpoenas, done been indicted 4 different times, and has created a insurrection of the White House and directed all these folks, and police got killed, and all these shootings going on, and they won't sign a gun rights bill, and all this is happening. But if you want them back in the White House, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So let's
Big
talk.
homie.
Since you own it, let's talk about Trump's prison reform program. You know, he let a lot of people that had nonviolent offenses that's been in jail 30 years. They got released under Trump. More than Obama. Obama let some go.
He did, yeah.
But Trump.
But Obama did let some go.
Yeah, he did.
Well, you can't let everybody go.
Well, he
all
could-
at
he
one
could've done
time.
more.
But could
He
do
could've
more.
done more. But
Let's
Trump,
count the pardons.
Trump did pardons as well.
Who did he pardon?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
He pardoned.
Oh,
Kodak
wow.
Black.
He
He's
didn't
a-
pardon D. Wayne. He pardoned Lil Wayne. They knew they lied on me, but that's okay. But he
That's some
pardoned
unfinished
Lil
business.
Wayne, but he didn't pardon D. Wayne. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that was just Trump had a plan.
Wait a minute. Let's talk about them pardons. Who has he pardoned?
Oh, he pardoned. It was a bunch of folks, man. He pardoned Kwame
My friend.
from
And
Kwame.
Kwame is a wonderful friend, a wonderful man, and now a minister. And he was done wrong in Detroit.
Yeah.
Did he not, wait a minute now.
What?
Kwame did not do those things that he was convicted of?
If Trump did his, then Trump.
No,
you
I'm
say
not
Trump
sure.
didn't do
Did
his.
Kwame do
No,
it?
Kwame didn't do nothing. Not to my knowledge. I don't know what he did.
Okay.
No comment.
No comment.
I know he's a good man now, and I support him. He's a reverend.
The former mayor of Chicago, they got convicted with Jesse Jackson's son. He pardoned him. So I just want to say this, y'all. In politics,
But he got to pardon the little bitty people, man. What about the people that's been there that ain't did nothing?
there was some little ones in
There
there.
wasn't no little ones in there. I wasn't in there.
You're not a little one then.
I am a little.
You ain't little. It wasn't little,
I wasn't little at the time.
He left this big dog out.
He let the big dog out.
let me make this point right here. Let me make this point. Okay, y'all.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Caraway, as you know, politics is a winner-take-all sport.
It is.
If you win, you take all.
That's right.
Okay. So sometimes people use their position, and if you get too much motion, or if you do too much for African American people, sometimes you become a target
Ask me.
of the federal government, the FBI, the CIA, and all of that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And every time you're not doing nothing but trying to help your people. So, and it's like that all over the country. It ain't like that just in Dallas, it ain't like that just in Washington, but it's like that everywhere. So everybody, every elected official that you see that get indicted,
Black.
black or white, that don't mean that they is guilty of what they charged with.
Amen.
So you gotta, it's hard for people to understand it that it really ain't involved in politics just from the outside looking in. They just hear the news story and just assume that it's what they hearing in the news story. Even though they can make evidence seem like what they want it to seem, they just
How do you do that?
Just for instance, let me give y'all an example.
Okay.
If somebody, your colleague, is mad at you because of a vote that happened on the floor in any kind of, it could be Senate, it could be Congress, it could be city council, it could be mayor, it could be anything. They go and they mad at you because you voted against them for some reason. They go to, they so mad at you that they go to the FBI and say, hey, this man is doing this and this and this and this. Because they are elected official, the FBI don't care. Their job is just to investigate. Okay? So they take this information from this elected official, go to the judge and say, look, we got this information. It's from a credible elected official. Can we get a wiretap? Right? The judge, what's the judge gonna, okay, yeah. Y'all FBI, y'all got this elected official. We'll give you the wiretap, right? They get the wiretap and they investigate not for a couple months, not for a year, not for 2 years. They investigate for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years.
Okay, so
Now, if you don't find nothing in 2 years, at what point do they say, okay, we ain't find nothing in 2 years, the investigation needs to stop?
it depends. I mean, you can't put a time limit on anything like that. When are you going to say something that's going to get you caught? Nobody knows that.
Listen, but what I'm saying is they don't have the right to spy on American citizens indefinitely.
They had a court order to do it, didn't they?
Is that right, though?
But see, here's what, and I agree with Big Homie with this, because it is, to my knowledge, and I'm telling you what I know, there have been investigations going on since 2012 that I'm aware of now. And I just became aware of them in 2018, 19, that they've been investigating stuff since 2012. So what you're saying is that there should be, if you throw the net out there, sooner or later you're going to catch a crab.
That's right.
On something. It's basically what you're saying.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Well,
if you're not doing anything wrong,
everybody ain't always right, though, Vern. Everybody ain't gonna always be right. Now, somebody gonna be, if it ain't nothing but going cheating with your girlfriend or doing something, going somewhere doing something. Because I don't know nobody that does not have something.
But
if you did nothing but run a red light, you done broke the law.
Yeah, but if you're investigating for somebody, for instance, for drug trafficking or something like that.
But what he's saying is, if let's use drug trafficking. What he's saying is that if it's drug trafficking, for example, to your point, then maybe it may take, depending on what it is, maybe it may take a period of time, all right, to put that together. But just on the scam of something that's a wild ass witch hunt, you're gonna eventually catch Big Homie doing something. He's gonna run a red light. He's gonna go in the club. He's gonna leave the club after he had a couple of 2 or 3 cocktails. Then they're gonna stop him, and then they're gonna pin that on him for a DWI. Is basically what you're saying.
But first of all, you can't go to a judge and ask for a warrant or wiretap just by saying I heard somebody say something. You gotta give a judge a little more than that. No judge is going to say, okay, you heard somebody say something. Go ahead and
But
wiretap
you
them.
do have relationships, and you do have some friendly judges. It's
Well-
basically because you got some judges that
Well, if
you
you
know
go to
you
a
go to
judge,
their
it's
house
fair.
at
judge is
2
supposed to be
o'clock
fair.
in the what it's supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, was the Supreme Court is Clarence Thomas fair?
No, but I'm saying that if you go to
I'm
a
just saying
judge,
that-
if you go to a judge, he's not just going to take your word for it unless it's some kind of side deal, unless he's a buddy of yours, and that's not right.
Well, Clarence and I already told us about some side deals.
Yeah.
Clank tough.
This is what I'm saying.
What we talking about?
We all have rights. We all have rights as humans, as Americans. And for an investigation to be put on you for 5 years to 10 years, I think it's unconstitutional.
So should be a time limit on it?
No, I don't think it
If
should
they
be a
don't
time.
find nothing, if they
Well,
don't find
when do you
nothing,
decide when there's nothing? When you find nothing, though.
You're making a good point, but he's making a point. But I'm saying that eventually, if the judge signed off and said, well, we heard he's laundering money, okay, fine. All right, y'all go catch him, okay? And then what you're saying, if they didn't call him kind of laundering money, then fine, you're supposed to do something about it. But it's not supposed to be the rest of his life.
right.
In other words, if you don't find out within a certain timeline,
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is there
Yeah.
a time? How do you put a timeline on it?
well, you get some people in there that's going to set the policy. I've always told people as I was mayor, we're still living, you guys, under laws that are on the books from the 1800s and the early 1900s. Okay, things have changed now. We got telephones now. We used to walk around. You used to have a big old phone with a satchel on it with the long antenna and all that. Look what we went around here with now. Technology, times change. So with technology and time change, then policies should be at least reviewed, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
You don't have to change it, but and then you can tweak a policy if it's an old policy because things have changed. But we're still living in the world under some old policies, and we got some spineless Republicans and some spineless other elected officials on other
Spineless
levels.
elected officials across the board, right.
Across the world. That we shouldn't have all this gun stuff. We're gonna get into the guns in just a little bit, but we should not have all these guns. Where is it that they don't have no guns in the country? You're not allowed. What country is that?
In Europe don't have guns like that.
But yeah, okay. So why do we have to have them?
Nigeria with guns.
Nigeria?
Before we-
The only one who got the guns in Nigeria. We're gonna switch up the conversation a little bit. But
No,
who
but
got-
hold on. Sorry, boss.
Go ahead, go ahead,
Well,
go
he
ahead.
was. I kind of agree with him a little bit though about that situation. But why would there be a limit if, I mean, of the investigation or checking or monitoring? If you clean, you clean. If you're not doing anything wrong, you're not doing anything. You're not gonna do anything wrong for the next 20 years or
Right.
even forever.
Well, it really ain't
Unless
like that.
they want it to stop so that you can start doing some wrong stuff.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. See, if you ain't never been through the situation,
That's right.
I can understand you feeling like y'all feeling. But once you done been in the situation, you have an inside look at it.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's why this is called the other side.
And let me tell y'all why.
No, I'm serious. That's why this is called the other side.
Hold on, let me tell
Because
y'all
you're right.
why.
I'm agreeing with you.
I know I'm right.
Yeah, no,
So-
I know you're right.
So let me tell y'all.
And don't
this.
say you've been through it. Say we've been through
We've
it.
been through it. And
How you know I ain't been through
You
it?
ain't been through it.
Yes, I have.
You been to jail
Yes.
for
Have you
what? You been to prison?
Yeah, not prison. I was in
Well, it's
jail.
different jail. To prison. You been to jail?
So let me just make a point, y'all. Let me make a point.
This is bars to me.
And I don't know how I'm on here saying this.
Say it.
Okay,
Skin the chicken.
but this how I'm gonna say this right here. Emmanuel, you say I'm not doing nothing wrong. What could possibly happen if I'm not doing nothing wrong? Vernon saying, if you're not doing nothing wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. Okay, say somebody just say, just for instance, FBI started an investigation on you. Okay. So when they do a very thorough job investigating you, they go back 7 years. They bring in the IRS. They say, Emmanuel, look right here in 2013, you didn't declare that you did this. You see what I'm saying? So that's where most of the investigations
I
get
see your
people.
point, yeah.
With taxes, with a tax that you didn't pay. That's 5 to 10 years.
Well, then you should have paid it.
Oh, goddamn.
Listen, what I'm saying is,
Straight up.
I mean, you should pay it.
it's easy to say that, but when a lot of people they try to pay less tax as possible, and it could be just their attorney or their accountant. It didn't even have to be them,
Right.
but they holding you accountable.
That's
for
correct.
It. You see what I'm saying?
I'm a
And
witness.
then they say, guess what, Emmanuel? We're gonna send this to the grand jury.
Emmanuel looks like he's getting ready to get excited.
Hold on.
He looks worried over there.
Don't get worried. Get your little lizard, man. Get your little sip. Get your little sip. Get your little sip. Get your sip. You can have some of mine.
I'm showing y'all how this go, so y'all
Tell
know.
them. Preach.
You see what I'm saying?
Preach, doctor.
They come in, man, you didn't pay this. We got $10,000 that you didn't declare. That was 10 years ago, so put the interest on that. That's up to $150,000. Man, we gotta charge you. We gotta send this to the grand jury. They send it to the grand jury. Guess what? The grand jury is not saying that you guilty. It's just saying that they got enough evidence to indict you.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So, and like my lawyer told me, cause I asked him, I said, man, can they indict me for this? He said, Jay, let me tell you, they can indict a ham sandwich. It's a saying in amongst lawyers that say they can indict a ham sandwich. That means if they send it to the grand jury, they coming back with an indictment. Now you gotta fight for your life. Now that's a lot of people ain't never fought for their life. But when you in that situation and you got your name versus the United States of America,
Say it.
it's a different game. So it's easy to sit back and say, you didn't do nothing.
So in the initial allegation was different from
The indictment.
the indictment. Okay, so it's like they were investigating for a different thing, and they find an IRS situation. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, that at that point you're right.
Or let me take
Because
it a bit
when you've
further.
been investigated,
Hold on, I'm
they
ready.
might say all kind of
I'm-
things
yes,
irrelevant
yes.
to what the initial.
They've been investigating for 10 years.
I feel
man.
you.
They know who you talk to. They record and stuff. They know everything. You see
I
what
see
I'm
that.
saying?
That
They
got-
know, they know your side.
Okay, I take it back. That got to. They gotta have
Take
a
it
time.
back?
They gotta have a time limit.
Yeah, but
on that.
nowadays they can find all that stuff anyway without even putting a wiretap.
Well, let's do this now. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna encourage our listeners to subscribe to the other side with DC. Subscribe to the other side with DC. Share, save, like. Share, save, like. Share, save, like.
Hit that red
subscribe.
button.
Hit that button. Hit it right now. Please hit it right now.